Not to sound like a broken record, but I guess this time every year we talk about the championship part of the season, starting with the Big Ten meet this coming Sunday, and what that feels like leading into the meet. I don't think there's a coach out there that doesn't get excited about competing in the postseason, competing at the Big Ten championships. And yes, there's a completely different feel around the locker room this week. A different feel up in the offices, even our throws coach, our multis coach, our sprints coach, they get excited about it. So it's fun to be around that type of atmosphere. And we're excited about heading to Bloomington this week for the Big Ten championships. In saying that, we always talk about Big Tens and beyond. That's not just a phrase that we coined going back over the last 8-9 years. It's something it's meaningful. At this stage, it doesn't really matter what happened prior to Sunday's race. It's all about this Sunday, and it's all about what happens after Sunday. So in saying that, we're on the women's side, we feel like we're in a real good spot right now. We can look back 2 weeks ago and look at the Nutty Comb results, but in our sport, it's not worth looking back. We got to look forward, and our women had a very solid performance at Nutty Comb. We did finish 9th. I get that. At 4K, we were 3rd and ran into some difficulties with Sarah DeSanza. Had a rough last kilometre or so, and kind of fell back off the pace and kind of hurt our team score. But in saying that, it takes 5 to score, and Amy Davis had a bit of a rough outing over the last kilometre, but certainly I think that's a product of my coaching. In leading up to the meet, I certainly blew Amy up, and you guys all know that. I talked about her finishing in the top 5, and a challenge to Coach Miller leading into the Nutty Comb was, hey, look, let's let these kids give them the green light. Let's let Amy, Sarah, and Shaylin Sorensen, Alicia Monson, let's see what they're made of. Let's let them go for the race and see what happens. And yeah, we paid a price over the last couple of K. But when you take the Nutty Comb race and what we face next Sunday, they're two completely different beasts. Nutty Comb, there's 230, 240 competitors. There isn't a lot of room, a lot of space. It's hard to look for your teammates. The Big Ten, it's completely different beast. 100 competitors. At every moment in that race, you're going to be able to see what's happening with the team competition. You're going to be able to see every single individual that's going to mean anything in the individual race. So it requires a different type of race than the Nutty Comb. And it's the same on the men's side. But going into the championship on Sunday, we honestly feel that our women have a shot. Michigan are ranked ahead of us. Outside of that, I think there's 2 or 3 teams that have a shot at the championship, and I believe that we're one of those teams. We're going to need everybody firing on all cylinders. That goes without saying. Amy and Sarah, I'm 100% confident they're going to bounce back. They've looked really good in the last couple of workouts. Alicia Monson obviously had a great run at Nutty Comb. And when you get a supporting staff like Shaylin Sorensen and Alyssa Nigman, who's running real well, I think that we got all the pieces there. We just have to put it together on Sunday. So we've got a real good shot. We haven't been in this position in quite a while, so it's very exciting. On the men's side, right now it's a tale of 2 stories, obviously. There's the real news and there's the fake news. The real news is that, we went without Morgan McDonald at the Nutty Comb. We did not have Olin Hacker. We certainly will not have Olin on Sunday. It's going to be a race day decision on Morgan. But we've got a couple of guys back from injury. The fake news is we're not rolling down. We are going in there. We're defending champions. It's not over. It's not all doom and gloom here in Madison. our guys are pumped about going out there. We're excited about this. We're excited about defending our title. Having a couple of guys back, Zach Snyder and Ben Eidenschink. Ben did run at Nuttycombe. It was his first race in a long time. He was ninth outdoors in the 10K. He's going to give us some firepower. And Zach Snyder is back. So it's going to be an interesting championship. It's wide open. Right now, Michigan are probably favorites, but we run the race for a reason. And again, it's not like Nuttycombe. It's just a completely different beast. So let's go. We're going to Bloomington. We're not going to roll over. We're going to go there and defend our championship. Our guys are going to wear that singlet. They're going to be proud. They're going to get excited about it. And we're not giving up this title. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm all fired up, so thank you for that. Joe Hardy was your lead runner at Nuttycombe. Do you have to ask more from him and some of the other guys to accomplish what you're talking about here, Mick?
Of course. When we were in Louisville 2 weeks prior to Nuttycombe, Ollie Hoare, who's a sophomore, was our number one guy. Had a fantastic run down there. Ollie got a little excited, just like Amy. Those early kilometers at the Nuttycombe race, again, I can't even describe what the difference between those two races is. It's just completely different. You're going to every single minute be able to see who the main contenders are, who the pretenders are. There's a lot of jostling. It gets very physical. You can almost see the eyes at the back of the guy's head in front of you. It's brutal, head on head, man on man, head to head competition. It's what our sport's all about. And we have to be prepared for that, and we are prepared for that. We talk about it all the time. Joe is certainly in the running for the individual title. There's a couple of great athletes, obviously, but I think he's got a shot. If he's got a shot, Ollie Hoare definitely has a shot. And if you get those two low numbers up front, that's really going to help the team. So that's what we're hoping for. That's the expectation for those two guys. And then it's just a matter of getting a good support cast, after that. Get the next 2 or 3 guys. It only takes 5 guys to score. So it's not as complicated as it looks. It's simple. We always talk about keeping it simple, keeping it country, and don't make it difficult. And that's what we plan on doing. When you look at the last 7 or 8 years, we've won 7 of these. So there is that feeling of, this is our lunchbox, and we don't want anybody to steal it. So bring it on.
Coach, how will running at in Bloomington earlier this year, how will that help you this Sunday when you return back to Indiana?
I think anytime you get an opportunity to run on a championship course prior to the championships, it helps. It's a quite challenging course, not as difficult as what we faced last year up in Minnesota, but there are some challenging parts. They come pretty early in the race, and they will play a factor into how people approach the race. So just having been on the course and having been through it before, it certainly helps. It's not going to hurt us. The comments after we were there early September, the kids like the course. A course in September and a course at the end of October are always different. You get some rain. We've had a lot of rain. They're expecting a little bit of snow, but I don't believe that it ever snows around here in October. So I don't expect to see any snow on the course, but.
Having watched Amy run through her high school career, I would assume that she's going to come out with something to prove after what happened, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. And wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I take full responsibility for the Nuttycombe with Amy. I came in here and I talked her up and went to Coach Miller and said, look, we just have to give these guys the green light, see where they're at, give them an opportunity to run up front and get a feel for what it's like competing against the best kids in the country. They're going to do that in November anyway. And, you know, it was a hot day. I'm not making excuses, but it was hot. I never saw so many bodies, you know, on the ground after the race at Nuttycombe. And it was in both races, the men and the women. So I think a lot of kids suffered because of the heat. It was high 70s and very, very high humidity. We did have a lot of rain right after the race, so that played a factor in the outcome, I think. And our kids certainly did feel it. They talked about it after. I don't know whether it was a hydration issue or whatever, but again, that's 2 weeks ago, and it doesn't mean or doesn't. When we go into this coming Sunday, it's a completely different beast. When we go back to the experience that we draw from is Amy and Sarah and Elisa running the 5,000 meters outdoors at the Big Ten meet, and how they control that race, how they ran real smart, and they'll do that on Sunday. I'm really excited about it. I think we have a real good shot, and we haven't been in this position in a long time, and that's, you know, from a coach's perspective, that's really exciting.